You know, some weeks are just another week. But for the Codatta project, this last one was a big deal. We're talking about closing one major chapter and, immediately kicking off a much, much bigger one. It was a fundamental shift in their mission, and it all happened super fast. So let's dive in and see how they pulled it off. So everything really kicked off with them wrapping up their very first data bounty. You can kind of think of it as the pilot episode, that all-important proof of concept that proves the idea works and sets the stage for what's to come. And they didn't waste a single second. This wasn't just about, checking a box and moving on. Nope. The project immediately shifted gears, graduating from that first test run to tackling some really complex data challenges in the Web3 space. So, what did this week of transition actually look like on the ground? Well, somehow they managed to close out one bounty, launch another, way more ambitious one, and deploy a major upgrade to their entire reputation system, all at the same time. It's kind of a masterclass in evolving on the fly, for sure. Okay, so the first huge shift is just the sheer ambition of their new data missions. The title here really says it all, from knobs to wallets. And that's not just a catchy phrase. It represents a massive leap in how important the mission really is. And here, you can really see that jump in scope. Their first bounty was about identifying physical objects, a really clever way to test out the system. But this new bounty, it's a whole different beast. Now, they're mapping the hot wallets of major exchanges. Those are the main accounts used for deposits and withdrawals. So they've gone from a simple identification task to analyzing the absolute core infrastructure of the crypto economy. And this is exactly why that jump is so significant. The goal here isn't just to collect a bunch of data, it's to create a public good. By mapping these wallets, the community can help spot patterns related to illicit finance, and at the same time, seriously improve the quality of analytics for the entire Web3 ecosystem. It's a win-win. But look, if you want people to contribute to these massive missions, you've got to have a system that fairly recognizes and rewards them for their effort. And that's why, at the same time as launching the new bounty, Codatta rolled out a completely overhauled reputation system. This brings up a question that, honestly, every single decentralized project has to struggle with. How do you actually measure the value of someone's contribution? Is it just about how much work they do, or should things like long-term commitment and trust be part of the equation? This is exactly the problem this new upgrade is designed to solve. Their solution is something they're calling a unified credit signal. The idea is to move beyond just counting completed tasks to create a single, holistic score. It's designed to reflect not just what you've done, but your overall commitment to the network's health and security in the long run. So how does this new reputation get calculated? Well, it really boils down to a blend of two core things. First, you've got your behavioral contribution. That's the actual work you're doing. And second, there's your economic staking, basically your financial skin in the game. You combine those two, and you get a much more robust, much more complete picture of a contributor's value and how trustworthy they are. A more ambitious bounty and a smarter reputation system are awesome, don't get me wrong, but they aren't the end goal. They're actually the building blocks for Codatta's huge long-term vision, creating what they call the knowledge layer. You can actually find a clue to this vision in their really cool creative series, AI Tries to Understand, which uses AI art to explore these big philosophical questions. One piece just asks, when does a pattern become meaning? And that question, it gets right to the absolute heart of Codatta's mission. Think about it. On-chain data in its raw form is basically just chaotic noise. The data bounties, they help organize that noise into structured patterns. But the real magic, the whole point of the knowledge layer, is that final step, turning those patterns into verifiable, meaningful knowledge that anyone can use and actually trust. And all this progress from just 1 week is building a crystal clear runway to some major milestones coming up. We're talking about their token generation event, or TGE, which is when their native token will launch, but also a huge push for wider adoption and even bigger, more impactful data bounties. It's all about speeding up the process of putting valuable knowledge on-chain. So at the end of the day, Codatta is building the foundation. They're building the tools to turn all that raw data into actual meaning. They're creating the system. And now they're turning to the community, and really to all of us, with a simple but really powerful question. What knowledge will you bring to the chain?